Codependency and how it destroys relationships and our sense of self. Codependency is a complex issue that significantly impacts personal relationships and the self-esteem of those involved. This mindset can gradually erode relationships and undermine the sense of self of the individuals involved. Let's delve deeply into the mechanisms of codependency and how this dynamic can compromise the health of relationships. Codependency, at its core, represents a form of psychological dependency where one person becomes so intertwined with another that they perceive their well-being as intrinsically linked to the presence of the other. This goes beyond the desire to be with someone and transforms into an irrational belief that the other person is indispensable for their own happiness. Emotional dependency often leads to jealous and manipulative behaviors, where the dependent person drags the other person down in an attempt to fulfill their own needs. In some situations, both individuals involved in a relationship can be codependent in different ways, leading to emotional codependency. In these dynamics, one person needs the partner to stay by their side at all costs, while the other needs to maintain this dependency to feel useful and valued. This vicious cycle can further generate and reinforce dependence, leading to suffering and emptiness in the relationship. A crucial aspect is distinguishing between codependency and altruism. Taking care of a partner is essential for maintaining a healthy relationship, but it must be done altruistically and out of love, not as a desperate attempt to fulfill one's own dependency. Behavioral patterns derived from codependency often stem from unmet needs during childhood and create a self-destructive spiral that reinforces dependency. Symptoms and characteristics of emotional codependency include low self-esteem, where the person seeks to compensate for their lack of self-confidence with approval and recognition from the partner. This deficiency often has its roots in childhood, where codependent individuals learn that their value depends on their contribution to others. The tendency to control the partner to maintain the dependency results in manipulation and jealousy, undermining trust and the individual growth of the other person. The fear of the partner's independence leads them to constantly interfere in the other's decisions, preventing them from realizing their own goals and further undermining their self-esteem. Dependency on constant approval from the partner is another hallmark, as codependent individuals seek confirmation of their worth in the relationship. They often feel responsible for the other's feelings, taking on a burden that is not theirs to bear. Furthermore, they tend to blame the partner for issues in the relationship, using this as a mechanism to make the other person feel guilty and attempt to change their behavior. In a codependent relationship, a vicious cycle of discomfort develops, with both parties experiencing a gradual erosion of self-esteem and happiness. This pattern can be destructive to the mental and emotional well-being of those involved and undermine the potential for a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Codependent relationships often develop in a toxic environment where each partner's happiness is closely tied to mutual dependence. In these relationships, communication is often compromised, as the primary goal becomes maintaining dependence rather than promoting genuine understanding and connection between partners. A key element of codependent relationships is the lack of healthy boundaries. Those involved often sacrifice their own identity and autonomy to meet the needs of the dependent partner. This behavior can lead to a loss of individuality, creating a sense of emptiness and distorted identity. Ultimately, both partners may feel they have lost themselves in the relationship, further contributing to dissatisfaction and disorientation. Moreover, codependency can lead to a range of emotional and psychological issues. The dependent person can develop anxiety, depression, and a sense of inadequacy due to their constant need for affirmation from their partner. At the same time, the protective person may suffer from guilt and frustration due to unreasonable expectations and emotional burden. In the event of the breakdown of a codependent relationship, partners often find themselves in an emotional void because their self-esteem and sense of self have been closely tied to each other for so long. The end of a codependent relationship can trigger an intense sense of loss and abandonment, with both parties struggling to regain their own identity and self-esteem. To overcome codependency and build healthier relationships, it is essential to embark on a process of self-discovery and self-improvement. This may involve engaging in therapy or psychological support to address the deep-rooted causes of codependency and develop self-esteem. Furthermore, it's important to learn how to establish healthy boundaries within relationships and promote open and honest communication. In conclusion, codependency is a dynamic that can destroy relationships and the sense of self of those involved. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step towards healing and creating healthier, more satisfying relationships based on love, mutual respect, and emotional independence. I thank you for your comments and testimonies. I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and to leave your comment. As you know, I always read them and respond to everyone with pleasure.